Hey guys, welcome back to Let's Play Real Myst. When we last left off, we were about to go get information about Channelwood, which is actually the last age we need to visit. I believe we point towards the cabin? It's been a while since I've done this stuff. Yeah, okay. I don't know why, that's kind of how a bit of a memory lapse there. Wasn't sure if I actually got Sirius's page or not. Close the door. Why aren't you? Oh, wasn't even playing in the right direction. Alright, you're gonna see something on the screen. There we go. Gotta turn my damn brightness up. Of course! Alright, and doors are opening. Come on, let's do this. Let's go. Hooray! Alright, I already know where to go and what to look for. I just need that damn safe combination again. Okay, go up the ladder. And the combination is 724. And now we shall go to the library and read about Channelwood. Yeah, Channelwood is probably it's an intricate puzzle to get into, but honestly, it's probably the easiest of the bunch. With the hardest of the bunch, in my personal opinion, being the way to get into the Selnick age, or whatever. There is an appropriate name for that age. I just can't remember it off the top of my head, so I just call it the Steam Age. It works, doesn't it? Anyway, so now we get to go read about Channelwood, and then we can go and start Channelwood. Which Channelwood, I leave it last for a couple of reasons. First and foremost, it really is a beautiful age to look at, but in all honesty, it's probably like one of my least favorite of all the ages. And who knows, maybe a Real Myst might actually like sway my opinion on it. And I wanted to read about Channelwood first and foremost. Which was this one. I have called this age Channelwood, and it is a very different world, though it is exactly how I imagined it. It is still amazing to see it with my own eyes. Water covers this age as far as I can see, except for a small rocky island. Elsewhere, there are only trees, which grow directly out of the water. A myriad of thin wooden patches were built just above the water, and disappear into the forest. I assume they were built some time ago, for they appeared aged. I am eager to discover more about this land and its people, but I have arrived here late and I must rest. I was wakened this morning by strange noises coming from the pathway adjacent to the one in which I had slept. I saw a group of monkey-like people heading in my direction. They had not seen me yet, and I did not feel threatened by their presence. Their response to me was one that I would have never expected. After staring at me for a short time, they fell to their knees and began to what appeared to be some sort of ceremonial worship. I tried to speak to them, but they did not understand my language. Instead, they indicated through enthusiastic hand motions that I was to follow them. As we walked, I began to notice that the waters below were changing colors. Slowly. Subtly. God, I can't read cursive. They would change from deep blue to muddy orange, then from muddy orange to beautifully clear. I was so intrigued by the water, I had hardly noticed that we had arrived at a ladder. Climbing the ladder led us to the village, which was about 10 meters above the water. It could only be reached by rope ladders that stretched from the lower pass to the middle village to the village level, approximately halfway up the grand trees. It's very interesting watching these people carry out their daily tasks. Even after watching them for hours, I did not understand exactly what they were doing. At sunset, they motioned for me to follow them. I followed the creatures to the doorway of an enormous hut. Strangely, once inside, I found that the hut appeared even larger than it had from the outside. The walls were garnished with bright metals, and in the center of this hut sat the leader of these people. At least he appeared to be their leader, for he sat a meter off the floor in a thick throne. Guards surrounded the strong creature, who was dressed in mainly exotic, colorful fabrics. Next to the leader sat a very old human, at least to some extent he appears human. His hair, which was only on his face and head, was completely gray, almost white, and hung very low around his frail body. His thin head hung limply by an almost grotesque neck that could not hold its head up to look at me. But what a surprise! This creature could speak my language. Shortly thereafter, I was given a bed with some hand motions that looked to be telling me to go to sleep. I looked forward to learning more. As I suspected, the ancient creature is a human, but he is old beyond his own reckoning, and seems almost insane. However, the tree dwellers almost revere him as a god. They are treating me now in the same fashion which makes me feel very uncomfortable. It is almost impossible to understand this old man. His voice is feeble but wild. He has adopted much of the language of the tree dwellers. He himself told me he has not spoken our own tongue in ages. He attempted to explain to me the history of this place. The following is my best translation of what he has told me. Many years ago, the humans and tree dwellers lived together in this place, which was then a vast island. They interacted very little. The humans dwelt on the ground, and the tree dwellers lived high above the humans. Occasionally, the island was stirred by mysterious rumblings which happened randomly. Some sort of tectonic or volcanic action, I suspect. The sometimes slight, sometimes heavy tremors would only last a short time. Then they would stop, allowing everything to return to normal. One day things changed. The rumbling began to grow quickly and to unexpected levels. Soon it became apparent that the entire island was sinking slowly into the ocean around them. Many of the humans died that day, but not before sacrificing themselves in order to stop the sinking of the island. The humans who lived through this catastrophe moved into the trees where they gradually died out, mainly because they were unequipped for such an environment, but I am not sure. This is the story the old man communicated to me. Although many details are very unclear in my mind, I am especially confused as to how the humans saved the island from completely sinking. In fact, I doubt the accuracy of that part of the story. The island must have stopped on its own. Yet the old man believes in the truth of the story as if he had been there. And the tree dwellers worship him, and apparently all humans, as if they were heroes or gods. The old man ended our conversation today with an event which I will never forget. He began gripping my hands tightly, murmuring something about rest and sleep. He then said, we had expected you to come sooner. These actions filled me with some sort of immediate dread. With much effort, he stood to his feet. I tried to help, but he pushed me away with more force than I imagined his frail body contained. The tree dogs quietly surrounded him with very solemn faces. They kneeled before him. He walked to each and placed his hand on their heads. All the while, he murmured words which I did not understand. Finally, he turned to me and smiled, then closed his eyes and walked out of the door and off the narrow path. High in the trees, the tree dwellers were silent. They began a procession down the nearest rope ladder. As I descended, I saw several of them pick up the body. He had fallen onto a lower level of the walkway and carry it away. He was laying down at the dead end of the short pier-like structure. With the use of some portion of one of the tree creatures lit the pier on fire, and I watched as the flames engulfed him. As this strange funeral proceeded, the waters around the pier changed to a dull green. This morning I awoke even harder for it to believe the presence of the previous evening's events. The water is a dull green for as far as I can see now. For some reason, the water is no longer shift colors. As I wandered throughout the pathway, the creatures watched me, curious to see what I would do next. They are constantly offering me strange objects of affection. I even found food outside the doorway to this room in which I had slept. This is a unique race of beings. I hope to learn their language soon, so that I may learn more from them. I've lived on this world for 3 months, off and on, and the tree dwellers have shown great hospitality. I'm even beginning to learn bits of their language. I decided to return home for an extended stay with my loving wife and my sons, and hopefully return with them. However, I'm sure Catherine will once again refuse. I think this age will be a wonderful experience for them all, and I at least look forward to how Sirius and Achenar will release to the curious inhabitants. Catherine is staying behind as expected. My sons have returned with me, and they enjoy this age very much. They get along well with the tree dwellers, and are picking up their language surprisingly fast. I have no doubt that it will not be too long before they can speak with the tree dwellers, much better than myself. I am leaving tomorrow to check on the Osarian age. Sirius has suggested that I allow him and his brother to stay. Though the thought unsettles me, I know the boys are growing up rapidly. The hospitality of these creatures is such that I could think of no better place to leave them alone for a short while. So I will consent to their request. I warn the boys not to take advantage of the respect the tree dwellers have for their ideas. They seem to understand my warning and have faith that they will follow it. Much to my dismay, upon arriving in the Everdunes, I learned that Pran and her people are continuing to be menaced by the Chorchik. I fear that their survival and plan on returning to her shortly after checking on Sirius and Achenar. See Edge's journal for more information. After watching Sirius and Achenar, I see they are handling things well, and I think they can put to rest my fears about leaving them channel one again. A little while longer this time. The trio there seem slightly distressed that I am leaving, but are happy that Sirius and Achenar are staying behind again. I've been gone for over 3 days, and I've been to many different places, and I had to tell Sirius and Achenar about Pran's death today. They were visibly shaking, although they only remembered her from their childhood. Catherine had suggested it would be wise for Sirius and Achenar to leave Channelwood for a while, and I have to agree. They will be returning with me when I leave again. I've told my sons that they will be returning with me in 2 days. They spent the entire night telling me of the adventure they experienced in my absence, and it was rather remarkable. It seems they constructed a boat with the creatures and traveled some ways out into the surrounding waters. I enjoy hearing them talk silently from their adventures. And I remind them of my own adventures as a child. I finally understand why the Treadars have been giving me their many inks and interesting. I write and... God, screw it. Insisting I write them, looking through some of the past entries, I see now that the inks have changed from the black I thought they were to various different colors. I had shown some of the creatures in my journal, and they laughed and howled. I did not know that they had such a sense of humor. Even now I look through this very colorful journal, and I cannot help but laugh myself. We will be returning tomorrow, so my sons are with the creatures for the last night here. They have told me they would like to come to Channelwood again, and also if they can visit some of the other ages alone. Though I have to think over their request, I believe they have proven to me that they are trustworthy and responsible. Catherine will also help me decide whether they are... Do not know how long until I can visit them again. Jeez, I forgot how long the journal for Channelwood was. That... God almighty, Fun! So, we may not even see Channelwood. Anyway, time for the puzzle itself. Inside this log cabin, there is a boiler, with a picture of the tree, and a wheel, and a safe. Let's go to the safe, shall we? Combination was 724. And we've got a box of matches. And you do that to light the match. And now we have power. And I'm trying to remember which way we need to do this. Come on. Okay, that should be doing something. Yeah, this puzzle... Come on. Okay, now we're moving. Okay, now we need to reverse it. Once it gets to a comfortable height. Alright, that should be good enough. And now we need to basically decrease this. And quickly run back out. And that's almost all the time we have for this. Let's see if I can get down to the bottom of this quickly. Slowly but surely, we're getting there. Come on. We see the bottom. There we go. Alright guys, I will end it here, and next time on Let's Play Real Myst, we will finally see what Channelwood looks like. Let's save the game. Come on, save it. Alright. Alright guys, next time we shall tackle Channelwood. See you then.